It's July 2026. The Las Vegas summer heat is peaking, and the city is bracing for the Ultimate Fighting Championship's 14th annual International Fight Week. Historically, this midsummer card at the T-Mobile Arena is designed to be a spectacle. The promotion stacks the deck with premium talent, expecting a massive financial return from tourists and diehard fans alike. But what actually unfolded over the course of this single night obliterated those baseline projections. This chart shows the highest live ticket gates in the promotion's history. Notice this massive leap right here. In a matter of hours, UFC 329 generated $26,430,000 in ticket receipts. That completely eclipses the previous $21.8 million record held by UFC 306. But alongside that massive business metric, something else was happening inside the cage. As the night progressed, fighter after fighter ended their bouts early, racking up 11 total finishes, tying an all-time promotional record set by cards like UFC 281 and 224. Usually, you get one or the other. You get a highly marketable card that coasts to cautious judges' decisions, or a violent, action-packed undercard that nobody paid to see. Hitting the absolute ceiling of commercial revenue while simultaneously matching the physical limit of in-cage violence creates an extreme statistical anomaly, a perfect storm. To understand how a single live event commands over $26 million at the door, you have to look at the exact variables placed at the top of the poster. Conor McGregor had been absent from competition for 5 full years. Back in July 2021 at UFC 264, a catastrophic lower leg fracture abruptly halted his career. The physical reality of recovering from a snapped tibia, combined with the lingering question of whether he would ever fight again, created a massive vacuum of fan anticipation. On the other side of the octagon was Max Holloway. Already a former featherweight champion, Holloway was risking a move up to the welterweight division, the 170-pound limit, for the very first time, chasing a piece of 3-division history. These two were not strangers. 13 years prior, in August 2013, they fought a gritty 3-round undercard bout in Boston. McGregor took the unanimous decision that night. Decades of subsequent championship runs, distinct career arcs, and lingering scorecards built a massive narrative runway for a rematch. You combine a 5-year injury comeback, a high-stakes divisional debut, and a deeply rooted 13-year rivalry. That specific calculus is what convinced 20,078 people to pack into the T-Mobile Arena and pay exorbitant premium ticket prices. However, compelling marketing only secures the gate revenue. It does not dictate the physical reality of the fights themselves. Once the door locks, the burden of delivering an entertaining product shifts entirely to the athletes. When the first bell rang, the corporate metrics faded into the background. The canvas was clear, and what followed was a highly concentrated sprint of violence. In the heavyweight division, Gable Steveson overwhelmed Elisha Ellison. Using a brutal combination of knees and punches, Stevenson secured a clean knockout in just 2 minutes and 31 seconds of the first round. Shortly after, former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker stepped up to light heavyweight and immediately broke Nikita Krylov's jaw, forcing a TKO stoppage just 61 seconds into round 3. Then, in the lightweight division, Paddy Pimblett grounded Benoit Saint-Denis and locked in a Peruvian necktie, a notoriously complex and rare choke. The technical submission ended the fight in a blistering 52 seconds. These weren't isolated incidents. Adrian Yanez secured a first-round TKO, Royval locked in a rear naked choke, King Green stopped McKinney with punches. Out of the entire card, 11 separate bouts ended in a definitive referee-mandated finish. Watching bodies drop and limbs get caught fight after fight creates a compounding wave of adrenaline for the live audience. By the time the main event fighters made their walk, the arena was at a fever pitch. The undercard had massively over-delivered, leaving the headliners with an intense pressure to match the chaos. The walkouts for McGregor and Holloway felt incredibly heavy. $26 million worth of ticket buyers were standing, vibrating from the momentum of the 11 brutal finishes they had just witnessed. The bell rang, the 2 veterans engaged, and then, at exactly 1 minute and 9 seconds of the very first round, the fight was over. Max Holloway was awarded a TKO victory, but not from a concussive strike or a tight submission. McGregor stepped, planted, and his knees simply failed him. Another devastating structural collapse ended the bout almost before it had a chance to begin. The air immediately left the arena. The hero's narrative of a multi-year triumphant return evaporated in an instant, replaced by the grim reality of human biomechanics. It was a harsh, undeniable reminder that mixed martial arts is a sport of pure physical attrition, completely indifferent to marketing narratives. For Max Holloway, the bizarre finish still secured a concrete milestone. By recording a win in his welterweight debut, he etched his name into the record books as a successful competitor across 3 distinct weight classes. The contrast in the octagon was stark. On one side, you had Holloway successfully expanding his physical boundaries into a heavier division. On the other, McGregor sat compromised on the canvas, illustrating the steep and often unforgiving physical toll this sport extracts from aging athletes. This scatterplot visualizes the event's true legacy. One axis shows total gate revenue, the other fight finishes per card. Most events cluster in the middle. UFC 329 sits isolated in the extreme upper right, $26.4 million and 11 finishes. That specific data point is why UFC 329 will be studied for years. It operated at the absolute zenith of the promotion's commercial hype machine, drawing an astronomical fortune from a 13-year storyline. And simultaneously, it provided the ultimate, unfiltered showcase of the sport's reality: chaotic, violent, and entirely unpredictable.